Aura in fiction. I've talked about historical figures a lot in this channel, okay? Everybody from Napoleon Bonaparte to Jesus Christ. And who had the most aura in history. And those videos, out of absolutely nowhere, have actually, like, catapulted me up a step in the algorithm. Okay, so like any other YouTuber, I am going to proceed to milk this trend. However, I'm only half joking. You guys have been begging me to do one for fictional characters, and I thought, you know what, why not? This is your channel. After all, I'm just the host of it, and I said I will give the people what they want this time. We're going to be going over fictional characters and ranking them on accordance of aura. However, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. There's a lot more competition when it comes to aura in fiction because I swear half of these characters were just created to have the most aura possible, so we're going to be splitting hairs a lot in here. Okay, I'll go over the criteria later on in the video. I just want to say thank you for the support that you're giving this channel. We're about to hit 50k subscribers. We're less than 2,000 subscribers away. It actually shows at this current rate, we'll get 50k by the end of the month, which is genuinely crazy because I thought we were going to do that before. Like, I would have been happy if we did it December 31st. No, we might get that done by the end of November, okay? So I'm going to keep on doing the videos that are catapulting me up in the algorithm. Like, I'm not even kidding you. If you look up what historical figure has the most aura, my video is the first thing to come up, and apparently it's getting so much traction that it literally told the Google Gemini, like, AI assistant that, according to this YouTube video, Jesus Christ has the most aura. So you know what? I'll take that dub right there. No, I'm not kidding you. It literally cited my video for why it thinks that. I'm sorry, not to toot my own horn, but it's the support you give this channel that gives me that. Please consider like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content, which you guys seem to do. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the fictional characters with the most aura. Darth Vader. This is what I mean by, we are going to have a lot of competition in here. Like, just to tell you, just to rip the Band-Aid off, there is no tier below A tier in this video. It is A+, S+, and then just him. Because all of these people have a lot of aura. Darth Vader. Where do we even begin with this one? I would argue that Darth Vader is the most recognizable antagonist in the history of fiction. Like, honestly, name a, you know what, I don't even have to go that far. Name a movie character that is more recognizable as a villain than Darth Vader. I talked about how Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker is the best written character in the history of Star Wars, and no other character is even close. Darth Vader as a villain. Dude, imagine having, like, your breath is so iconic that if a Star Wars trailer were to release today, and it was to go over the Rey trilogy, everybody who likes Star Wars talks about if they made a Rey trilogy, they would just drop Star Wars. If they gave you the trailer, okay, and it was nothing but Rey just swinging around a lightsaber, but they, like, made her look old, but at the end of it, it had a fade to black scene, and you heard the breathing of Darth Vader, you would still see it. Darth Vader is the ultimate nostalgia canon of Star Wars. And it's so, dude, Darth Vader is such an iconic and aura-filled character that every single, like, the wide spectrum of Star Wars fans, from I hate everything that is created to I dislike the original trilogy, yes, there are people that actually think that, all agree that Darth Vader's just badass. Darth Vader, dude, the hallway scene from Rogue One, the entirety of the original trilogy, every single time that Darth Vader is on screen, he's him. The look is amazing. Dude. There's really, if I have to explain to you why Darth Vader has some of the most aura in fiction, I don't know what to tell you, okay? But I don't want to give somebody a him ranking this early in the video because, you know what? I'll tell you who gets the him, the S tier of this video by the end of it. I'm going to put Darth Vader as an S+, okay? The equivalent of an A tier in terms of aura. I mean, who's going to disagree with me on that one? Darth Vader. Like, his breathing alone is iconic. Tell me. Like, come on. John Wick. I've been recently binge-watching the John Wick trilogy again. I love the John Wick movies, okay? I understand why some people don't like them. But, like, you know what my favorite part of the John Wick movies is? Like, I love it so much. It's the scene where, the mafia leader's dad... No, the mafia leader... His son comes back and says, hey, look at the car that we got. And the dad's like, oh, good job, son. I'm so proud of you. You finally, like, if anything ever happened to you, I would be distraught with myself. You're my favorite kid. And he's like, oh, yeah, bro, just got it from this dude. He called himself, like, Wick. And then all of a sudden the dad is like, what was his first name? Tell me, you pathetic waste of oxygen. What was his first name? I don't know, bro. It was like John. You stole a car from John Wick? Please tell me he didn't see your face. Please. Tell me he did not see your face. Oh, no. Yeah, he did, bro. He was nothing. I went in there, beat him up, killed his dog in front of him, and then I stole his car. Like, come on, what's he gonna do? He's old. Oh, dear God. You need to go back there. You need to apologize to him right now, or he's gonna kill everybody that you love. Okay? You need to go back there. You pathetic waste of oxygen. Like, the switch up from I love you, son, to why did you fucking do that? It's Baba Yaga. Like, dude, that's my favorite part of all of the John Wick movies, is the fact that they don't show what John Wick had to do to get that aura around him. No. They are just... I love that everybody's scared of him, dude. It's so funny. I love that Keanu Reeves barely says anything in the entire trilogy, aside from, I need guns. Lots of guns. And then everybody's like, you know what? Who's gonna disagree with the guy? There are parts of the John Wick movies that I don't like. Like, I'm gonna be real. I was not a fan of the final John Wick movie. I think you could have done a little bit more with that. But the John Wick trilogy, dude, I love it. The John Wick movies are great. As a trilogy, it's amazing. The action scenes are really good. The fight choreography is really good. Yes, I am one of those people where if I see a fight scene in a movie, and if I don't think it's accurate, it actually bothers me. And I know people are going to say that, being like, oh, then that's pretty annoying. I'll set up for a lot. Like, I will watch something that I know is bullshit. Like, I'm going to tell you something right now. 90% of movies, I'm convinced, don't know how chokes work. 90% of movies, I feel like, think the moment somebody goes unconscious, they just die. Like, I don't want to spoil the Penguin, but in the Penguin, there is a dude that gets choked unconscious in the final episode. And I'm not even kidding you. He goes unconscious, and then he lets go, and then we're supposed to believe, oh, he's dead. He's obviously dead. I'm gonna sound like a psychopath explaining this to you. But there's two types of chokes. There's a blood choke, and then there's an airway choke. The choke that the Penguin used would be an airway choke, where I'm just constricting your esophagus. That takes around like a minute. That's like a minute to put somebody down. Okay? And before you say, oh, well, no, you can put somebody down quicker. What about UFC? That's a blood choke. You see, on your neck, you got two carotid arteries, and those are the things that keeps you conscious, okay? When somebody goes unconscious, what that effectively is your body is freaking out because it's about to die. So it's trying to go unconscious to either convince the predator that you're dead, or it's trying to conserve energy because you're experiencing a form of brain death. It really only takes like 5 seconds. If I have a fully synced in RNC, okay, and I'm starting to constrict that down, okay, this blade of your forearm right here goes on this carotid, and it's this right here, like this bicep part of there, that's going on both of these carotid. Like, I don't even have to do this. Like, it goes right up here, and you just press on these for long enough, you'll start going unconscious. Like, if you do this for long enough, you'll start feeling lightheaded. It's crazy how well that works. It's the same thing with, like, triangle chokes. All you're doing with the triangle choke, and that's the ones where they do it with their legs, I'm using the inner part of my thigh to constrict this, and then I'm using your shoulder right here to constrict this one, and then I'm using the muscles in my legs, which I think is like 75% stronger than your arms on average, and I'm constricting that down, and I'm putting you unconscious that way. It doesn't take a lot. It takes like 5 to 9 seconds. It varies from person to person. But even then, I would have to hold that for like another 30 to 40 seconds for you to experience an amount of brain death that you'll just die. In other words, it's very hard to unalive somebody with a choke that quickly. That's why in most movies they just snap their neck, which is a little bit more difficult than that. I'm exposing myself. The Soviet Union sleeper agent allegations are not dying with this video. Where was I? Oh yeah, but John Wick actually has a very good understanding of this because he actually did train jiu-jitsu. There's a point where he has a De La Hiva and goes that into an Imanari roll, which basically what that is I'm using your fulcrum point in one of your legs. So, wow, this has turned into a completely different type of video. Basically what he did, it was like an actual move in grappling that does work. Hits a heel hook on a dude, but instead of finishing the heel hook, he whips out the force multiplier and then starts going, and that's one of my favorite parts of the movie too. John Wick actually knows martial arts, and he would unironically most likely beat me in a grappling match. Maybe. Okay, maybe. I think his stand-up is a little weak. His takedown entries are a little bit sloppy, but outside of that, no, has pretty good jiu-jitsu, good leg lock game. I can't put him above Darth Vader. I'm going to put Darth Vader above an S+. I'm going to put John Wick because of how funny it is. Just how everybody's terrified him, in an S tier. Unironically, I think John Wick, from what I've seen on screen, is probably one of the most competent martial artists in movies. From what I've seen. Like, he legitimately trained for this. He did. Legit tactics were being used. So I'm going to put him in S tier based off respect that I have. Kratos! We're going to do some games too. Don't worry, nerds. I got you. And real talk, I love the character development of Kratos. It actually disappointed me to find out that the original creator of God of War thinks that Kratos has been beta-fied. Yeah, no, he thinks modern Kratos has been turned into a beta male. No, we had a kid. I know a lot of people that were legitimate killers, okay? That had a child, and then they became a super chill dude. Okay, look, that really does happen. You get dad strength, but you also, it's I don't even know how to explain it. It's weird. I feel like there's a chemical reaction in your head where it's have you ever noticed how many alpha Giga Chad males have a lot of girls? What I think that is whether you believe it's something latent in your genetics or the big G up above is yo, bro, we need to give this guy a little girl because he needs to calm the fuck down. Okay? I actually think that there is some genetic part of it where I don't know. I do think that's kind of funny that all of the alpha male dudes in sports and in special forces almost always have girls. And I think that's a way of balancing out the testosterone. I really do. They're bro, he don't need no help. Give him a girl, man. He can defend another one. Kratos. Kratos had a boy, though. I like Atreus. I need some character development, dog. I need a little bit more out of Atreus. Atreus was... he's not okay. Okay. Atreus is more annoying in God of War Ragnarok than he is in God of War 4, because in God of War 2016, God of War 2018, my bad. God of War 2018, it makes sense because he's effectively a 12-year-old. Dog, you're 16 years old. Why the fuck are you making these dumbass decisions, dog? Stop it. Kratos, everything from his growing up as a Spartan all the way up to defeating Ares, to killing his dad Zeus. There is so much lore for Kratos that gives him the aura that he does. Athena! And then we got there's too much. There's a lot to get into here. As far as a gaming protagonist, okay? I have a few other gaming protagonists on here, but he's tough. I would put Kratos as probably one of the most aura-filled. I'm going to put Kratos, because I have to judge him off of gaming, I'm going to put him in an S+. S+ by Darth Vader. I mean, name another person in gaming that has that. Caesar from Planet of the Apes. The amount of people that commented this on the community post. I wasn't going to put him on here until, I got, 15 comments being Caesar from Planet of the Apes, and it's not even a question. And I do think that's true. Caesar from Planet of the Apes has got into that category that I put Optimus Prime in terms of inspiration. Caesar is just all around an awesome, I say dude, yeah, no, he's just a cool dude. Okay, goated leader. I think, okay, the Planet of the Apes trilogy, the new trilogy, is going to go down as one of the most underrated in the history of cinema, okay? I think the first movie was kind of mid. I actually think the first movie in the trilogy is the weakest. And I think because that movie was so weak in comparison that people never wanted to watch the second one. The second Planet of the Apes movie is so good. Okay? I love that movie. It's so good. Caesar as a leader, having kids, becoming like, dude, it's, ugh. And then we get into the final of the trilogy before we got into the new trilogy of Planet of the Apes, where Caesar is effectively Moses, freeing his people from the captors that are the last humans. There's actually a lot of, like, biblical symbolism in the Planet of the Apes movie that is genuinely, like, they do it well. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, Caesar's meant to be a stand-in for Moses. The apes are meant to be a stand-in for the Hebrews. And the governing people believe that they are above the Hebrews because they were the ones that were made in the image of God, and that they got a plague that they got from the ape. You see the symbolism that we're going here? He led them to the promised land that they lived for hundreds of years, and then they started fighting each other, and then they got conquered by it. Do you guys see the comparison now? I love it. I love the trilogy, dude. It's so good. I'm going to put Caesar. S. I think S is valid. I think that's fair. I don't think people are going to disagree with me on that one. Batman. Now, for the sake of not making everybody angry, I'm going to talk about the movie versions. I'm aware there is a lot of Batman lore. Okay, how about this? To satiate all of you comic book fans that have read every single issue about Batman. If it is comic book Batman, he already won. He has more aura than any other person on this list by a mile. Okay? Genuinely, comic book Batman wins. Movie Batman, I'm just going to say it, okay? I think I've talked about this in other videos, but I'm going to say it again. I think one of the dumbest things that we've normalized is the idea that Batman having the "where is he?" voice is genuinely intimidating. I'll be real with you. If somebody dressed up as a fucking bat starts giving me the 1, 2, 3-piece and a soda, and then grabs me by the collar, and then proceeds to ask me basic questions like, "Where's the leader?" I'm going to look at him, and I'm going to snap back to reality and say something along the lines of, "Brother, you need a cough drop." Okay? Like, I can't understand you. This is a conversation between A and B, and I don't see what you're trying to say here. Okay? I'll just be real with you. I don't. Okay? I understand it could be worse. Okay? Like, I imagine if Batman had the voice of RFK Jr. Okay? That's a genuine tragic thing right there, and I'm not trying to make fun of the guy. However, imagine you're in Gotham just trying to assemble up some money to feed your family, and then you go into your local McDonald's to go pick up a Big Mac and fries, and then you walk out, and then Batman is beating the tar out of one of your homies, and then he comes up to you in a fraction of a second, hits you with the liver punch overhand right, and then you're on the ground like, "Please, I'm just trying to feed my family." And then RFK Batman comes up to you and says something along the lines of, "Why would you feed your family this absolute trash? You do not deserve to breed." And then you're like, "Sir, what?" It's just like, "You heard me. McDonald's is one of the worst things we've ever created. You see, I really hope that Bruce Wayne replaces all of the grease with beef tallow." And then you just start having this whole debate with the dude that's like, "That's your number one problem, Batman? Like, okay, we got Joker over here blowing up banks. We have the Penguin over here, strangling children. We have Two-Face over here, but you're going to beat up little old me for trying to feed my family Big Macs. You're goddamn right, you fucking scum." And then he proceeds to hit you with the Arkham ground and pound strikes of death. And then he grabs your fucking Big Macs and throws them in a sewer, okay? And then you're over here recovering in the hospital, and you're like, "Bro, you would not fucking believe what happened to me." And then and then it cuts to RFK Batman just chilling on like a building, and then he's over here having his inner monologue. "I'm going to clean up the filth that is in Gotham, making Gotham healthy again for justice." Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna let the skit go right there. Yeah, no, that might be actually, unironically, more intimidating, okay? Like, that, for real, that's the dude that got nothing to lose. He got the Doom worm chilling out in his brain, okay? I'm gonna make a lot of people mad with that one. Where was I? Oh yeah, Batman in terms of aura, he's already up there, dog. Okay, he's beaten up. Like, Arkham Batman, also up there. Movie Batman is up there. Aside from the ones that has the nipple print armor, you're not up there. You have negative aura. I might actually have to knock Batman in movies down a peg because of you. How about this? I'm going to put Batman above John Wick, and I'm going to move Caesar down to A+. Okay, I'm sorry, Caesar fans. I got to make you mad on this one. Batman has to be S. He just does, bro. Dude, I think it was either the Michael Keaton or the Batman before him that ruined it, bro. Nipple armor that's crazy work. Optimus Prime. Okay, I'm just going to say it right now. The Transformers trilogy, I understand it's not really good for, like, the lore of Transformers. Okay, I understand it's not very faithful. But every single Transformers fan owes that director, oh my gosh, why am I blanking out on his name? Michael Bay. You owe Michael Bay a thank you. You want to know why? Because this man single-handedly kept Transformers in pop culture. You would not be hearing about a Transformers movie if it weren't for Michael Bay. And, you know what? I'll die on this hill. I like the Michael Bay designs. I was about to bury myself right there. I like the Michael Bay designs when it comes to the Autobots. I think the Optimus design is really good. I'm a big fan of that. I like that Optimus Prime is a borderline psychopath. Dude, one scene that has burned itself into my memory to the end of days is Optimus Prime running a 1v3 on Devastator, Megatron, and Starscream. And then when he gets hit with the spinning back kick and flies halfway across the hillside, whips out double blades and says, 3-on-1, I'll take you all on, or something along those lines. I'm sorry, that's burned into my memory for days. And then proceeds to throw down a smackdown where Megatron has to come up behind him, stab him in the back, and then set off the cannon. Okay? When you have Megatron resorting to bits-made tactics, you one of the GOATs. I'm telling you something right now. Optimus Prime could motivate me to storm the beaches of Normandy. Okay? If we're going before and it says, like, they already told us, yeah, the first 10 boats, they're gonna die on the beach. We just need you to take fire. I wouldn't want to go, and then Optimus Prime comes in and says something along the lines of, we do this not for ourselves, but for our children and our children's children. You, fine men, are blessed to be here, for you do not represent yourselves in your miserable lives. No, you represent an ideal that will last centuries. I'm going. I'm going, dude. Optimus Prime, best. The only other... No. I was going to say Captain America or Irwin from Attack on Titan. Nah, Optimus Prime has the best speeches. Dang it, I have to put him above Caesar. It's an A+. He's still an A tier, though. Okay, Optimus Prime, A+. Dude, speeches are all-time great. The Winter Soldier. Yes, I know people are going to be mad. Oh, why wasn't Captain America on here? You are not going to beat me in this debate. Winter Soldier in Captain America 2, the Winter Soldier is one of the greatest villains in the history of the MCU. The fight scenes in that movie were so good that it actively made me mad every other project after that. Okay? Whoever was in charge of doing the Winter Soldier fight scenes, that guy needs to be your guy for every other movie ever. It was amazing. But Bucky, dude, there is no better downgrade in power than Winter Soldier to Bucky Barnes, dude. Like, I know they're making something. It's supposed to be like the Thunderbolts, where Bucky's meant to be like kind of the Winter Soldier again. I am so hype. Dude, Bucky is I think as of right now, he's probably my favorite character in Marvel. Now, keep in mind, I stopped watching Marvel movies after Endgame. And it's not like, oh, look what they did. Look what Disney did to my franchise. Like, no. After I got done watching Endgame, before they even announced another movie, on the drive home, I said, there is no possible way that you're going to be able to top this. And I turned out to be right. Name one movie that you believe is better than Infinity War and Endgame. There isn't. You're not going to beat that. I'm sorry. It peaked. As far as aura, though, It's more of an honorable mention. I'm going to put him as the low because I needed somebody to be at the bottom in order to justify this. I'm putting Bucky Martins in A, but that at the equivalent, that's the lowest possible tier. Homelander. Homelander is the number 1 or number 2 best comic book villains. It's between him and Heath Ledger's Joker. I'm going to say that right now. I talked about The Boys and how I think Boys is borderline overrated at this point. However, is it to the point where I'm not going to watch it anymore? Absolutely not. I think the last season of The Boys was genuinely the weakest one. And the excuse for that was, oh, well, they were just trying to set up the ending. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that's not a good excuse. It is not. I'm not going to give you that excuse. You could do that better. It felt like a lot of character development that we had for the entirety of the series more or less kind of devolved into nothing. I'm going to be real. But Homelander remains to be the best part about this entire series. Every time Homelander enters a room, shit's going haywire, dude. Okay? Like, you already know. Homelander entering a room signifies doom. I don't, like, for you to be able to do that, there's only a few characters that have ever had that. That being, like, Negan from The Walking Dead and, like, Rick Grimes with the full beard. They didn't make the list because we could be doing this all day, and depending on how this video does, we can do a part 2, and they can be on it. I'm just covering the ones that I have a lot of knowledge over. Homelander's a tough one to place, okay? I'm going to put Homelander bottom of A+. Caesar, I'm sorry, Caesar just has too many good moments. Homelander's more of a villain. It's easier to make a villain with aura because that's part of, like, the storytelling. Having a hero with aura, okay, and he's not beating Darth Vader. I'm sorry, I gotta do that. Paul Atredies, Lisan el-Gaib. Let me tell you something. I said something in the historical figures aura one where if you, like, even if you don't believe in Jesus, that Jesus was, like, the Son of God, then in that case, Jesus was basically Paul Atredies. Like, let me tell you something. When I went into Dune 2, I was not even going to watch that movie until the first reviews came out saying that it was a 10 out of 10. I go into that movie. I'm starting to watch it, and I'm like, okay, this is better than the first one. When this movie became my favorite movie of the year was when Paul Atredies goes in front of, like, the Fremen, like the religious leaders of the Fremen, and puts down one of the greatest monologues I've seen in a movie in a very long time. This dude straight up strolled into the Fremen home base and said some shit like, ain't none of you on God gonna beat me in a fight. Not one of you could ever beat me in a fight. Your grandmother told you of my coming. I am the chosen one. I was the one that was going to bring the rain back to Arrakis. I was the one that was going to bring the trees, the growth, everything to this planet. I am the bringer of the golden age. I am the Lisan el-Gaib. Okay? Strolls up to the one dude who's, like, pulling out a weapon on him, looks him dead in the eyes and says just like, your grandmother told me of this when she came from the storms, when you were but a child. What was her name again? Gets the name right, and he's like, nah, he's him. Dude literally has a full scene of him talking about, you think I'm the chosen one? Well, guess what? I am him. He had his own version of the I am. I love it. I do. And to keep up with, like, Planet of the Apes is like a Moses story. And this isn't me reaching. The creator of Dune, that wrote the novels, straight up said that Paul Atredies having this whole speech in front of the Fremen and then fighting against the Imperium was meant to be like a, not a ripoff, but a direct inspiration of Jesus doing the I am, and then, in that case, he didn't fight the Romans. But in this scenario, imagine a more militant J-Dog. That's Paul Atredies. Okay? Now, judging by how it ends, it was a bit more evil. I'm going to put Paul Atredies, just off that performance alone, at the bottom of S. Not quite up there yet, but we're getting up there. Master Chief. I didn't want to overdo it with game characters because we could make a full video on this. And I didn't want to do Master Chief and Doomslayer on the same video. And then, I'm not even kidding you, I was trying to figure out, who am I going to do first? Master Chief or Doomslayer? I flipped a coin, and then Master Chief was on here. Doomslayer deserves a full breakdown of how crazy that character is. But Master Chief is also no slouch. Master Chief going from a child soldier to John 117 to the Master Chief. Dude, he's one of the best. One of the best of all time. Okay? You can't dislike the Master Chief, dude. This guy was like a lot of you, like when your dad wasn't around because he was working and you were playing on your Xbox 360, Master Chief was your surrogate father. This man in Halo 2 took down a whole brigade of the Covenant, grabbed their nuclear bomb, goes out into space just to chuck it at him. That is in my consciousness. Dude, I bought an Xbox after being a PlayStation kid for my entire life just to play the Master Chief Collection. One of my all-time favorite games has one of the greatest peaks. Halo 1 through 3 is genuinely one of the greatest trilogies ever created. I love it. I'm going to put Master Chief, in far as gaming, as an S+, okay? Right next to Kratos. Right next to Kratos. It's very difficult to disagree with this one, okay? I just can't. Gojo from JJK. I went down like a Jujutsu Kaisen rabbit hole and just like binged the entire thing. Okay, watched the series, started reading the manga. He's him, bro. I have to give JJK this. JJK has some wonky writing. I will straight up admit that. A lot of it's carried by the accent of the series. There's a lot of, like, the logistics of the JJK universe is a fucking nightmare. Okay? Like, that, I don't know, like, that is a full video in and of itself that I probably will never make if I'm gonna be real with you. But logistically speaking, JJK makes less sense than the Harry Potter universe. And I already said the Harry Potter universe doesn't make a lick of sense if you think about it for more than 5 seconds. But, for whatever reason, JJK wrote one of the best characters of being the strongest. I don't know how. Gojo is legitimately just one of the most well-written characters when we look at him through the view of the strongest. I put Gojo up there as far as being well-written, up there with, like, Goku. Okay, he's one of the all-time best, okay? His ability, yes, is it kind of cheating? Yes, it is, okay? For anybody who doesn't know, he essentially has a force field, but it's a bit more complicated than that. The closer you get to hitting him, the space that divides your strike from him divides by 0. So the harder you try to hit him, the slower your strike goes. It's weird, but I think it's a very nifty ability. I'm gonna put Gojo, honestly, S tier. Yeah, S tier. I was about to put him down. Nah, S tier. I'm sorry. He is. Goku. There is no possible way of me making this video and not bringing up Goku. Because okay. The next two are actually fairly related with each other. But I was never a big fan of Dragon Ball. And I'm still not the biggest fan of Dragon Ball. However, I never really watched it. But I have to acknowledge that the most of that form of entertainment wouldn't have been able to get to where it was without the popularity of Goku and Dragon Ball Z. To give you an idea of how loved Dragon Ball is, when the creator died, the cartels of Mexico literally had a week-long ceasefire and made an altar to him because of how loved Goku is. If that is not aura, that your creator's death caused a ceasefire and organized crime, I don't know what it is, okay? I put Goku has to go in S. I'm not gonna give him because I admittedly don't know enough about the character. But like when we talk about aura in fiction, Goku has to be up there. Just in terms of mediums of entertainment, up there. Sun Wukong. Now, some people are gonna say, oh, you're just doing it from the game. No. I'm doing the actual Sun Wukong from the Journey of the West novel. The reason that I'm talking about that is Journey to the West is one of the most inspirational pieces of fiction ever created. To give you an idea of how wild Journey to the West is, okay, in relating Hinduism, Buddhism, and spirituality in like the continent of Asia, in where it's basically like pre-anime. Oh, yeah. Anime as a form of entertainment was a direct inspiration from Journey of the West and how that story is. If you read Journey of the West, you think you're reading fucking Naruto. Okay? It's crazy how similar it is. Also, Goku is a direct inspiration from Sun Wukong. He just is. I'm not, no, that's from the creator himself. It was a direct inspiration from Sun Wukong. Altogether, the story is pretty well made. But, wait, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. The equivalent of Journey to the West in bringing all of the faiths together into a story would be like, imagine if I made an anime talking about how Jesus, the Prophet Muhammad, and Moses all had a crossover event, and there was a character named, I don't even know, Isaiah, and this guy ran fades with Jesus, the Prophet Muhammad, and then drop-kicked Moses. That's essentially Journey of the West. Sun Wukong fights the lightning gods and then fights Buddha. Like, he fights the main guy of the Hindu and the Buddhist religion. Like, Buddha was a real dude. This guy supposedly fight him in Journey of the West. He is essentially a sentient rock monkey that has mastered all known forms of martial arts, mysticism, demon magic, and just being him. He is one of the most, like, referenced characters, like in terms of, like, how, like, arts that directly were inspired from him. There is so much that we weren't going to get from Sun Wukong directly, okay? So I think if this ever does become a series, that I do, depending on how this does, I cannot cover other characters in, like, manga or anime without covering the origin of that, and that was Journey of the West version of Sun Wukong. I think you have to put him, just based off everything that he was able to do, an S+. Now, if I had to choose a him from this video, I'm going to be real here, okay? If I had to choose one, it's Darth Vader, dog. It's Darth Vader. It's Darth Vader. He's the most recognized character in the entirety of, like, villains in fiction. Like, come on. Maybe I'll do another him in another video and we'll just slowly add on to it with, like, fan suggestions. Maybe that could be something in the future. But as for this video, Darth Vader's in him, and I have zero regrets on this one. I'm sorry. And there you go. That is the fictional characters aura tier list, okay? This was a fun video to do. You guys seem to like this format, and I said, you know what? Why not? Let's make them happy, okay? Don't get me wrong. We're still getting the, weapons and fiction and the dictators tier list. That's still coming. Some stuff came up and I had to do this video instead, but be prepared. We're getting videos. We're going to get to 50K subscribers by the end of the year. And then after 50K, we're eventually going to get to 100,000 subscribers. We're going to have one of them silver play buttons in the background. In all honesty, we've made it to the point where I'm fully confident that I think we're going to make it pretty far with this one, and that's genuinely insane. I like making these types of videos, and we're going to have different types of content coming to the channel, some more deep dives in the subjects that you just want me to hear about. If you want to hear me talk about the Journey to the West novel, the Battle of Stalingrad, or the CIA Dolphins, we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of stuff I want to make a solo video for in the future. If there's a subject matter that you really want me to make a solo video for, put it in the comment section and tell me why. With all that out of the way, please throw a like, comment, and subscribe. 50K by the end of the year. I know we're going to be able to do it. And if you haven't subscribed after watching this video, just do me a favor, do yourself a favor, and subscribe to watch more of the channel. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.